Welcome to Cruise1st Luxury Collections. Come and take a seat in our concierge lounge where you can relax and watch the world of luxury travel come to you. These are getaways with more time, more space, more inclusions and a cut above a regular cruise holiday. Cruise1st have been in the ocean travel business now for over 25 years, and in that time we've built unrivaled relationships with cruise and river travel providers around the world, and we matchmake these immersive holiday journeys to our guests who like to enjoy all the finer things in life. So let's indulge in nothing but elevated travel. Let's see the world in true style and enjoy the finest journeys, service and experience. Our dedicated team of travel experts are with you every step of the way, unlocking the highest quality at impressive prices. This show will bring the journey alive, and we'll also call on leading experts in the industry and get you the very best recommendations. Coming up in this edition, we're river cruising around the world with AmaWaterways, with a heritage spanning over 20 years, hosting you in style down the world's most iconic rivers. And we really are truly globetrotting in this show to discover a world of sheer indulgence, award-winning service, fine dining and all the home comforts you could wish for as you truly discover the destinations you cruise through and into. Joining me on the show is Joanne Smithies from AmaWaterways to guide us through life on board and a taste of what you can expect as we take truly unforgettable journeys of the world's best-known rivers.
Step into a world of elegance and discovery where river cruising blends luxury, comfort and immersive exploration. Designed for those who appreciate enriching travel experiences, AmaWaterways offers an intimate way to explore the world's most stunning rivers, from the romantic Rhine and Danube to the exotic Mekong and Nile. Each journey is thoughtfully crafted with expertly guided excursions allowing you to stroll through charming villages, explore historic cities and experience local cultures in a meaningful way. On board, spacious staterooms with breathtaking views, award-winning dining and regionally inspired entertainment create an atmosphere of pure relaxation and indulgence. With exceptional service, wellness programs and all-inclusive amenities, every moment is tailored to enhance your journey. Whether savouring fine wines in France or drifting past ancient wonders in Egypt, AmaWaterways invites you to explore the world in unparalleled style.
Wonderful. I'm very excited, and we've never talked about it before on Cruise1st TV, so I am very, very pleased to tell you that Joanne Smithies is with me from AmaWaterways. Joanne, welcome.
Hello.
Oh my word, I've got 1,000 questions, and luckily we've got an hour. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? Who are AmaWaterways? How old are you? How many ships are there in the fleet?
Tell you everything. So first of all, I'm very excited to be on the Cruise1st sofa here. This is a debut for me. So AmaWaterways is a 5-star luxury, family-owned and operated river cruise line. And we've been going for over 20 years now. In fact, I think it's close to 23 years. 29 ships, 2 new ones coming as well, so that will make it to 31 ships. So I think we're assumed to be quite a small river cruise operator perhaps, but actually we've got the second largest luxury fleet of river cruise ships in the world. Yeah,
very much pioneers in a lot of senses actually in the river cruise industry.
Yes, we really are, and that's down to our owners. Our owners, Christine Karst and Rudy Schreiner, they're really big figures in the river cruise world. Rudy's actually known as the godfather of river cruise in the river cruise world. So we've always been known as that sort of innovator of the industry. But we're also a real hidden gem of the river cruise world as well.
Yeah, and the more I've been researching, this is why I couldn't wait for you to arrive actually, because honestly, the more I researched, the more I thought, oh my God, this is a big deal, because this is often when we talk about river cruises, we think of Europe and fairly close to home, which is very much the case, yes. But we can also go very far away.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I talk about the 31 ships, well, the 29, soon to be 31 ships. The majority of the ships sailing in Europe, and I know we're going to be showing a few of the itineraries.
We are.
We have 2 ships on the Mekong in Southeast Asia. We have a ship sailing the Chobe River in South Africa, where we offer a safari cruise. We've got 2 ships on the Nile. And we've also got 2 ships on the Magdalena River in South America, in Colombia.
And the offering on board as well, just to be clear, we are not talking about, obviously, river cruise ships are generally smaller, so we are talking a very select audience when you're on board. So I guess you feel like the attention's really lavished on you when you're on board.
That's it, exactly, and that's what river cruise is all about, and I think why a lot of people choose river. It's those low guest numbers, that kind of intimate experience. Our ships hold between 24 guests and 196 guests. That's the absolute most you will get on one of our river cruise ships. So yeah, it really is. You get very well looked after, let's just say, when you're on board.
Listen, I have spoken to so many of our customers over the years who love the idea of a river cruise and have just been waiting for something like this to appear right now. So let's do it, shall we? Because in this show, we will be river cruising literally around the world with an amazing Mekong river cruise in Cambodia and Vietnam. We'll be taking to the River Nile to explore ancient Egypt with AmaWaterways, as well as closer to home, cruising the River Rhine from Holland all the way through to Basel in Switzerland. All of these packages have incredible savings if you book now with our team here at Cruise1st. Plus, exclusively, this is amazing, if you book with us before the end of May, we will also take an extra £150 per couple off your prices on screen. And there's an absolute exclusive here to the Cruise1st luxury collections. Even more if you decide on a suite upgrade, saving an extra £300 per couple exclusively with us. So let's begin our river cruising dreams with a trip through Germany, Austria, through to Budapest on the Danube. And this is a wonderful week to look forward to, starting on the 3rd of August by flying from London or Manchester to Vilshofen in Germany to join just under 200 passengers on board the wonderful AmaMagna. And here she is for us. So we get straight away the picture of life on board. But AmaMagna, a little bit different to the average river cruise ship.
Yes, very different. This is sort of AmaWaterways' crowning glory, twice the width of all other river cruise ships in Europe, including in our own fleet. But the beauty is that although we've doubled on size, we've not doubled on guest numbers. So there's just 196 guests on board, multiple dining venues, and really it's all about offering that more space, more luxury. There's more areas of the ship where you can go and find a quiet corner, and it's a real kind of stepping stone from, we maybe come on to this, but for a luxury ocean cruiser who's maybe been put off a river cruise ship because of the thought that they're somehow too small or haven't got enough dining choices. AmaMagna really delivers up those options.
Well, I mean, just I'll blow your own trumpet where you're not here, but it was awarded one of Time magazine's world's greatest places, and that kind of told me all I needed to know.
There you go.
Because there is a lot of choice in the river cruise market. There is a lot of choice, so you do need to stand out, and AmaMagna really does stand out.
Yeah, exactly that. And it comes back to our owners, Rudy and Christine, being so innovative in the river cruise world. But you're right, it's the one of a kind, it's unique. So yeah, and it's the greatest ship on the Danube. I've been on board AmaMagna, and really when you're on board sailing down that river, you just feel so special. People are actually lining the riverbanks and taking pictures of this ship. It's unbelievable.
Now let's talk about the experience as well, because there are some inclusions that maybe you wouldn't necessarily expect from a river cruise offering. Quite a lot of time, you know, people river cruise for an hour on a river if they go to a city, and they pay for their ticket, they get on the boat, they pay for everything while they're on there, and then they get off an hour later. Actually, when you're river cruising, it's a whole life experience all the way through your holiday, but also excursions are part of the offering.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I think one of the big things with river is, you know, although we've got these beautiful ships, it's all about the destination, isn't it, and what you can do on shore. And we absolutely do include every single shore excursion. So in the price you pay for your AmaWaterways river cruise, all your shore excursions are included.
Which is incredible, because there's quite a big range of them as well. They actually have their own fleet of bicycles on board as well, which just makes so much sense. It really, really does. And you can take those on guided tours, or take them to be as free as a bird as you like and go and explore the destinations. And that's just some of the offerings, by the way, on top of what you're seeing right now, which is just the most incredible comfort and joy. So let's take this wonderful Danube cruise then on the AmaMagnet. Now, when you get on board, you'll have a wonderful celebration to enjoy, and then off we go, sailing first to Passau in Germany. There are wonderful tours here. You can take a City of Three Rivers tour, or a Passau castle hike, or a river in bike tour while you're here. Next, we are heading to Linz, and these are wonderful places, by the way. The great thing is you are porting right into the heart of these places as well. There's no waiting, you're literally stepping off and you are there in the heart. And this is day 3 we're looking at here. You also visit Gren in Austria. I mean, listen, if you were just sitting on the riverbank there, just watching and enjoying a view like that, what's not to absolutely love? Of course, this is lovely Sound of Music territory here as well. Continuing down the Danube in Austria, we are in Melk next. Again, there's a bike tour here. There's a tour to a Benedictine Abbey available for you as well, which is really nice, and again part of the offering. These are really charming places. Spitz again on day 4. The other amazing thing about river cruising is you can often visit different destinations within the same day as well, and the journey between them is as magical as the destinations themselves. Now, this has to be the denouement, doesn't it, really? Arriving in Vienna, Imperial Vienna tour you can take, and is included as well, or the Schönbrunn Palace and Gardens, which you might well want to tour around as well. From Vienna, we cruise on to Bratislava in Slovakia here. There's a walking tour taking in the Coronation City of Kings, a Taste of Slovakia tour. There's a castle hike as well. Or, of course, you can literally wander as you want to. Now, we end this river cruise in Budapest with an overnight on board, so you get to again wander around, see both sides of the city as well, take up the tours, again grab a bike and wander around or ride around as you want to. It's often a great thing to do when you're river cruising, because of course you are on ground level. It's usually when you're cruising along a river, it's usually nice and flat, isn't it?
Exactly. No seasickness, that's another good thing.
Well, you have very little movement at all.
Yeah, very little. And actually what's amazing about this itinerary, just as you were talking through, that I've sailed on this itinerary myself, it's such a nice combination of that stunning Austrian Lake District, where it's quite slow paced, and it's absolutely amazing scenery, and of course on a river cruise you've got panoramic scenery. Everywhere you look you can see something, and then it goes into this beautiful cruise of city breaks where you're then hitting Vienna, Bratislava, Budapest. So you've got a cruise of 2 halves, so it makes it a really interesting one.
And it really is as kind of escorted as you want it to be. If you literally want your hand held from one end of the Danube trip to the other, that is a complete experience. So if you're thinking, okay, I'm not familiar, I don't want to be grabbing maps, I don't want to be wandering around on my own, literally Ama will hold your hand all the way through this journey. Yeah,
that is a really good point. We'll hold your hand or not hold your hand. It can be very tailor-made. This is the thing with the excursion choice as well. They're all included, and you can choose what fits your activity levels, what fits your interests, whether you do want to go off with a guide or whether you want to do something a little bit more independent. So absolutely, you can have it as handheld as you like.
And you've got local celebrations, as we can see here, is actually, that are fitting to the part of the world that you are in, which I think is a lovely thing. And I'm afraid I do need to say the word sip and sail and have you explain exactly what that means to me.
Sip and sail is fantastic. So if you just picture that hour before dinner every evening on board, it's that time when everyone goes up to the lounge, and it's often the time when our cruise manager will be doing a bit of a port talk and maybe explaining about the next day's excursions and everything like that. So it's quite a social hour. Everyone goes up to the lounge, and we include wines, beers, cocktails, whatever you want off the sip and sail menu. It's all included during that time frame to just relax and enjoy.
So a nice gin and tonic.
You can get a gin and tonic, you can have a couple of gin and tonics. Lovely. You can have cocktail of the day, mocktails, soft drinks, whatever you like up at the bar. It's a really nice hour.
Fantastic. And we will talk about the inclusions that you can take for granted on this as well as we go through. But what an amazing and very different journey along the Danube River for for August. Flying from London or Manchester to Vilshofen in Germany to join the AmaMagna for 7 nights of magnificent river cruising along the Danube from Germany and Austria and ending in Budapest, enjoying incredible service, dining, select drinks, Wi-Fi and more. Plus, of course, your return flight from Budapest. But let's not talk about that now because that's the end of the holiday. We don't want to think about that. This package already has a £400 per person saving if you book it today. But if you book it exclusively from this TV show with us here at Cruise1st, you can take £150 off per couple off your screen prices if you book this by the end of May. And if you decide to upgrade to a suite while you're on board, we can take even more. Talk to our team on 0800 953 4701. And the great thing about this experience is that you can book it today and make the savings, the exclusive savings to this show with a deposit of less than £300 each. Let's take a look at everything that's included. So your price on screen, I have to say, we are wrong. It's even better, which is fantastic. And Joanne, thank you so much for that, because I know you just agreed to extend that for us. We were going to have this exclusive offer to the end of April. You very kindly extended it to the end of May for us. And I've said that on TV now, so that's now legally binding. Thank you. We love you for that. You can come back again. So this is based on flights out of London or Manchester, which are free as part of the package, which is fantastic. And of course, you've got your 7 nights on board AmaMagna. Shore excursions are part of the offering on board. Award-winning dining right the way through. Select drinks, including that sip and sail lovely hour. It's 5 o'clock somewhere every single day. Lovely. Thank you very much. Cheers, Mr. Captain, or Mrs. Captain, maybe. You've got the Wi-Fi on board as well, Joanne, which I think is always a plus these days, isn't it? It kind of needs to be, it's like one of life's essentials now, isn't it?
It is, and the connection is amazing as well. You can get it all through the ship. It's not just something you've got up in the lounge or something like that.
If you like the idea of this sailing as well, by the way, there are other dates available, all with great savings on them as well, by the way, from June to December this year, and also from March to December next year. Obviously, price varies by date, so talk to the team on 0800 953 4701. But if you always like the idea of river cruising, I know so many people who have been writing to us and emailing us as a channel for years and years and years saying river cruising. I've always fancied a river cruise. I honestly, Joanne, I cannot tell you how many people over the years have said, and the funny thing is, there is still that outdated view there that river cruising is at the end of your cruising career, like the last thing you do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. If you're more mature. But actually, river cruising is a really quality product, isn't it? And that people have their honeymoons river cruising.
Oh, absolutely. And us, you know, particularly we found our age demographic of our guests has broadened quite a lot. We're attracting a wider demographic, I think, not only because our shore excursions are offering quite a lot more as well. We've got the bike tours where you can be a little bit more active, the hikes. Yeah, I think it's just appealing to a wider market. We even see multi-generational families, you know, come on. I must say, we don't often find your kind of young children on board, even though we do accept children, but certainly kind of grandparents with their grown-up children and their teenage children.
Well, I think it's quality time, isn't it? I think after the big pause in travel, I think people have reassessed their lives and actually reassessed their kind of family gatherings as well, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about quality time, isn't it?
Yeah, and we do find a lot of occasion bookings as well, you know, special wedding anniversaries, big birthdays. You can actually come and renew your vows on board as well.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's all sorts. But, of course, you don't need a special occasion. Just come on, you know, book it anyway. But, yeah, it is a really, really special trip that we're finding is appealing to a wider
and of course, you've got that flexibility, haven't you? If you're with, you know, different age groups in your group that you go on holiday with, you all know where the ship is. So if some of you want to go that way and some of you want to go that way, some of you want to go hiking, some of you want to go cycling, some of you are going on a more, you know, adventurous tour.
Exactly. You can all do something different. You can meet up back on the ship at lunchtime and talk about your day. One of you can go off and do the biking tours. Someone else might be doing the wine tasting. Someone might just be doing their own thing. So it really is. It's not a rushed experience on a river cruise. It's slow pace. You can do as much as you want. and you know, it really is your choice, and that's what it's all about.
And listen, if you're watching this at home and you're thinking, I want to know more, listen, stick around for the rest of the show. We're here for a whole hour. The second thing I would say is talk to our travel concierge team because they have all the details. And even if you've got a vague idea which river, which part of the world you want to go to, just talk to the team and we will find the right package for you. Next up is a fascinating river cruise from the canals of Amsterdam and down the Rhine through Germany, passing the Black Forest down to Basel in Switzerland. As soon as I saw this, I was like, yeah, this is something I really, really want to do. It starts on the 12th of November. It's 2 days after my birthday. This is working. Flying from London or Manchester over to Amsterdam. And we are joining the AmaPrima this time. And this is perfect. Honestly, I love this part of the world at any time of the year because actually it's quite nice to see places like this along the Rhine out of season a little bit because sometimes it can be just too crowded.
Yeah, you're so right, and that's the beauty of river cruise. You know, the season we sail all these cruises we're showing you today, February through to December, and like you say, you know, there are such beautiful times out of season or out of those times when you'd maybe expect that warmer weather, that you can see all the different seasons of the stunning areas. So yeah, definitely this time of year up on the Rhine. Really, really beautiful. And getting ready for Christmas, of course, as well. Oh,
yes, of course. Yes, we are heading to that time of the year. I'm so obsessed with my birthday at that time of the year. I forget that Christmas is on the way. Yeah, exactly. But this is also a really boutique experience as well because we're talking about just over 160 passengers. And that's full. You know,
full.
Obviously, and a good team on board too. I guess you have time to get to know your team on board as well as a passenger, so you feel you have more of a relationship.
Yes, in fact, the crew are just outstanding. I mean, I would say probably it's quite hard to explain until you get on board and see the magic that the crew deliver, but they are just unbelievable. And of course, it's very luxurious. You know, a 5-star product, but it's a very relaxed, laid-back atmosphere. The crew make it very easygoing. It's very attentive. Service on board, but you can just really be yourself, relax, and the crew just basically, like, you just feel like they're just giving you a big hug, and it's a family feel on board.
People might be watching this and wondering, okay, well, river cruising looks great because it's all about what you do during the day. You know, you're watching the lovely scenery, you're sailing past it, you're stopping in it, you're cycling around it and whatever. In the evening, are we all just sat in a circle talking to each other? Is there anything else happening in the evening?
Yes, circle time. My little girl does that at nursery school. I think river cruise evening entertainment probably doesn't have the best kind of, you know, press out there, I suppose. It's assumed that there's not a lot going on. We have some amazing evening entertainment. It's very low key. We don't have your kind of big sort of cabaret shows or anything like that, of course, but it's local acts coming on board the ship. We have an in-house pianist, and of course the beauty of river cruise is that if you're in port on an evening after dinner, which we often are, you can get off the ship and explore the local. So you can go off into Amsterdam.
Of course. Actually, that leads us very nicely to the start of this river cruise because, of course, we fly over to Amsterdam from London or Manchester. Our first night is overnight on board in Amsterdam, which is wonderful, and that is a lovely city, and you are porting right in the city. It's not the port for Amsterdam, it is Amsterdam itself, and that's really important to kind of point out as well. And it's a wonderful place to be. Honestly, it is incredible. And of course, by night, it's a very different place by night as well. It's well worth having a wander and seeing. And then off we go from wonderful Amsterdam. We make our way out onto the river and we head ourselves down to Dusseldorf in Germany. Now there's a lovely Cologne walking tour here, or there's a lovely alt beer tasting tour which you can take, or of course the AmaWaterways have their own fleet of bikes on board, so if you literally want to explore by bike as part of a tour or independently, you absolutely can. Next we head through the Rhine Gorge. Now this is really, really interesting because of course you've got the most amazing river scenery, but you also have these incredible castles that line the gorge as well, which you'll get to tour if you want to. Now this is a place I really want to go to. This is Rudesheim. Now you've got a few different choices here. There's a wine tasting tour, there's a gondola ride, there's a vineyards hike. I'd put me down for all three of those, please. I'd absolutely love that.
That's sometimes the hard thing, is actually choosing.
Exactly. Next, we're in Ludwigshafen in Germany as we make our way through. The Secrets of Speyer tour is here. There's a Heidelberg Philosopher's tour as well. Next, we head into Strasbourg as well. It's strange, actually. It feels like we're veering off course a little bit.
Yeah, you nip into France.
Yeah, you
here.
do just. Black Forest on one side, France on the other side. It's quite fascinating, really. You've got the Gem of Alsace tour there as well. Then we head into Breisach in Germany. Again, this has wonderful walking tours. There's a forest hike here. You can see there's a wonderful, looks like a chateau there, doesn't it, at the top? Looks like the kind of place you would love as your weekend place, doesn't it? We end this river cruise in Basel in Switzerland, and that is where we will fly back to the UK. Again, what a wonderful span of destinations that you are doing there.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 countries. In fact, I didn't mention on the Danube one we discussed earlier, it's 5 countries on that one.
Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's so, I think that going back to kind of it's all about the destination, but of course when you're on that ship and you're cruising down the Rhine Valley with you've got 35 plus castles all along the banks of the riverbanks.
Yeah.
All these fairy tale towns, these picture perfect little villages, and you'd only ever see them if you were on a river cruise.
Yeah, of course, and you're going at the right kind of pace in terms of speed wise, because this is not the same kind of speed as we're talking about with the ocean
exactly,
cruising.
yeah.
So you really are taking in the views as well. And actually, it must be fascinating for the locals and tourists and people just out walking their dog, just seeing the spectacle of the ships.
Yeah,
as well.
it really is. And actually, in AmaWaterways, we've got an amazing relationship with all the towns and the villages that we moor in and that we sail through as well. So the locals absolutely love our ships coming into port, and they'll wave you in, and it's a really special experience. So,
which has just prompted a question in my mind about dining, so I'm going to come back to that in just a second. Let's just recap what we've got going on here. A really lovely journey of discovery for November, flying from London or Manchester over to Amsterdam to join Ama Prima for a week of idyllic river cruising down the Rhine from Holland through the wonderful Rhine Gorge to Strasbourg in France, along the Upper Rhine in Germany to Basel in Switzerland. And you're in a lovely window stateroom here as well. We'll talk more about the staterooms in just a moment. Full of comfort, space and amenities. You'll enjoy fine dining, select drinks, amazing service, Wi-Fi and more with AmaWaterways. Plus, of course, your return flight from Basel back to the UK. Now, this package already has a saving of £900 per person if you book with us today at Cruise1st, but I've also got a TV exclusive for you as well. Because if you book this with us from this show right now by calling that number down there, 0800 953 4701, you can take £150 off that price tag per couple on screen if you book this by the end of May. And if you decide to upgrade to a suite on board, we'll take £300 per couple off the price exclusively to this show. So a deposit today will secure this for you. I have to say, for the price tag, for the inclusions we've got here, and let's just take a look at everything that is included, because when you look at the price tag that you see here and everything that is included, it's such a boutique opportunity with so much included in it as well. It's amazing, and to have even more savings available just by booking it exclusively from this show is even better. I'm loving this first delve into river cruising for us here at Cruise1st TV, and it's amazing with AmaWaterways. And plus, remember, there are other dates for this river cruise from June to December this year and from February to December next year. Obviously, price varies by date, so talk to the team for the best prices. And when I say the best prices, I mean the very best prices as well, because we have got TV exclusive prices for this show. So call us now on 0800 953 4701. You are with Cruise1st Luxury Collections right now, which is where we talk about the higher life of cruising on the ocean and on the river. And we are river cruising with AmaWaterways this time, and Joanne Smith is with me from AmaWaterways. I want to touch on dining right now.
Yes.
Because actually, dining, you would think maybe on a river cruise that you really just have the one choice, but actually that's not the case with Ama, is it? You have a number of different
Absolutely, yeah. So on our fleet of ships, we have two restaurants, a main restaurant where it's all open dining. You can sit wherever you like with whoever you like.
So no 7:15, 5:15?
No, it's just one setting each evening, same for breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Wonderful.
And we also have a chef's table specialty restaurant as well, which is like a 7-course fine dining restaurant. There's no extra supplement to dine here.
Oh, nice.
It's at the aft of the ship, and it's a very special experience where the chef is actually in the restaurant.
And that's a smaller number of people, I guess.
Yeah, about 26 guests in there.
Okay, so that's a book early kind of...
Yeah, but again, everyone gets the chance to dine in there, so
awesome.
Nobody misses out. You just book it with the maitre d' when you're on board.
Okay.
And then AmaMagna, which is the ship we discussed earlier, has 4 different restaurants, which really opens up that dining choice even more. So that's the one if you're wanting that little bit more dining options.
And if I am a walker, I like to get my steps in as well. Not a problem.
You will get the steps in, absolutely. This again is what we were saying before. You can be so active on a river cruise, or you can do nothing. You can sit on that sun deck and you can have a cocktail and watch the world go by, or you can be off. There's actually a walking track on the upper deck, so you can, a lot of people do try and get their steps in. We have a wellness programme as well going on board the ships.
Did I hear rumour of maybe a glass of sparkling something with breakfast?
Yes, you can get a sparkling wine with breakfast if you like. We've got a champagne yoga class if you want to do a little bit of have a little sip of champagne.
Well, that might get me to the yoga. I have to say one at a time responsibly, of course, but included. Right, we still have an exciting Nile River cruise coming up, as well as the chance to cruise the Mekong in Cambodia and Vietnam. But next, we are heading to one of the most famous wine regions in the world, the Bordeaux region, to river cruise the Garonne and the Dordogne rivers in France. This week-long journey starts on the 20th of November, where you'll fly from either London or Manchester to Bordeaux and join AmaDolce for your river cruise. Have I got the pronunciation right?
Yes,
Dolce,
very good.
Dolce Vita. Lovely. Okay, so Bordeaux, I mean, this is music to my ears. I mean, if you are a wine lover, this is the place that you want to explore, isn't it? And see. So on AmaDolce, even fewer passengers on board, 140 this time.
Yep. Correct, 140.
Wonderful. I love the artworks around as well. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. And all the ships are very individual, very personalised. They've all got their own style. AmaDolce is beautiful. And you do feel like you're stepping onto that kind of a 5-star luxury boutique hotel. You know, that's the feel you get when you're on board.
Yes, which leads me back to the accommodation as well, because I haven't really touched on that so far this time. So what is the accommodation like? Because people, I would imagine, would look at a ship this size, look at the passenger number and think, OK, it must be very, very tiny cabins then, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. With our ships taking quite a lot less passenger numbers than the sort of industry average, we've got more room for larger staterooms.
Wonderful.
So we've got all sorts of different styles of stateroom. AmaDolce is slightly different design to obviously the AmaMagna ship that you saw earlier, but we've got everything from those fixed window staterooms on the lower deck where you still get a lovely view. You can see outdoors. Then if you wanted to take it up to a French balcony where you've got that lovely floor to ceiling aspect with the chairs that are inside, we've also got those. We've got twin balcony staterooms where you get like a French balcony and a physical outside balcony.
Yes, and I don't want to spoil any surprises, but we've got one of those coming up later.
We're going to show you those.
When we cruise, yes.
So that's very much like a signature AmaWaterways style of balcony. And then we've got an amazing array of suites as well. So a lot larger than you would expect to find on a river cruise ship, but with us taking a lot less passengers, we're able to offer that more space.
They just look adorable, and they look like everything you need, because I imagine, you know, a lot of people would think, okay, it's going to be very tiny and very crammed and whatever, and of course en suite as well. We should.
Oh yeah, no shared bathroom.
I know that's a basic, but there are still some people that have the feeling that, well, surely not everyone can have a bathroom.
Absolutely do, and there's no inside staterooms either. Everything has either a window or a balcony, so that's
awesome.
key.
Which is great. So you've got that lovely feeling of space and light and sense of what time of the day it is as well, which is really important, isn't it? So let's take this cruise then in the Bordeaux region, wow. Let's head into Libourne first. There's a Saint-Emilion cruise here and a Grand Cru or Grand Cru class wine tasting, which I think we could absolutely cope with. We're actually here for an overnight as well, so maybe it's wine one day and bread making the other, because that's another thing, of course, synonymous with this part of the world as well. There's a bread making workshop, or there's a hike with wine and tapas tasting.
That's the one for me.
Tough one, yeah, tough one. We will cruise on to Blaye. This is day 4 now. There are some days where you'll actually have 2 destinations within a day. So in Blaye, there's a citadel visit there. Or there is a bike tour, of course, because AMA actually have a fleet of bikes on board, which they look after. Which is where I hope you've got a puncture repair kit with you, because I'm terrible for that kind of thing. So you can actually take a tour on a bike, or you just literally cycle around as you want to.
Your own, or you can go with a guide, and they'll bring you back to the ship.
There's a lovely wine festival in Bourg that we've just been to. We're in Cusack for Medoc now, and whenever you see the word Medoc, you associate it with wine, don't you, instantly?
Absolutely.
So this is, this is vineyard, and this is wine tasting country, and of course with wines come wonderful French cheeses, wonderful French breads as well, and wonderful little villages to kind of wander through. So even if wine isn't your thing and heading to vineyards isn't your thing, France is so chilled, isn't it, as a country?
So, and just the people watching the way of life in these towns and villages.
It's stunning. And of course the things you'll bring back from this as well. We finish with an overnight in Bordeaux, where you might well be enjoying a glass or two, one at a time responsibly, of course, before we then fly you back to the UK. This is a lovely break at a nice time of year, actually, isn't it? Maybe you just had a very, very busy year. Maybe, I always think with river cruising as well, it's something that people, for some reason, they kind of put it off. They put it off, and we must do that sometime. We must do that sometime. And it never kind of, reaches the front of the list. But I think, if you're busy people, a river cruise is great, because you've got that balance, haven't you, between being looked after and having everything done for you, pretty much. You just breathe in and out and we'll do the rest, thank you very much. But you also have that freedom. So as you're travelling along the river and you're stopping at these places, you have that complete choice of, I just like the look of this place, I want to go and see that.
Yeah, you absolutely
do. You can just go.
Yeah, and of course with river cruise, and I'm not taking anything away from ocean cruise, because obviously ocean cruise is an incredible way to see the world.
Yeah.
But if you think with river cruise, you're mooring in the hearts of these destinations. There's no tender. You are straight off that ship with your foot onto the shoreline.
Yes.
And you're there in the destination.
And there's nothing better, is there? I guess you're meeting a nice mix of people from around the world as well, aren't you?
Yeah, a real mix, absolutely. We are on sale the world over, so absolutely you're getting a real mix of traveller, but a like-minded traveller as well. What's lovely about river cruises, everyone on that ship, all 140 or all 170 of you, you've all picked river cruise because you've got the same interests or the same style of holiday that you want to enjoy.
And also you have a story to tell as well. I mean, sharing your life story with new people is lovely, because you make real meaningful relationships on cruises like this.
You really do. And actually we're an amazing option for anyone that's cruising on their own as a solo guest as well. And we get a lot of solo travellers that do actually end up meeting friends for life and potentially cruising with them at a later stage. So it's an incredible way to meet people. It's also a great way to just keep yourself to yourself as well if you want to. Just
talking about the going back to the accommodations, and this might be a bit of a curveball, but if for instance I am travelling with a friend who's not a companion, so to speak, are there twin options available?
Yes, you can have the beds in twin configuration.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So that's good to know. So you've got a couple of friends who would normally travel solo individually can travel together and share one of the staterooms and share the experience as well, because that's really, that's a lovely thing to do. And a lot of people are choosing to do that these days as well. Such a lovely experience, isn't it? I mean, river cruising, if you haven't yet done it, this is the way to live, isn't it? This is the way to spend some real quality time, and this is a real journey of discovery through incredible wine country of the Bordeaux region of France. And this is for November. This is the treat that you deserve as well. Remember, flying from London or Manchester to Bordeaux to join AmaDolce for 7 nights of incredible river cruising in a window stateroom, enjoying a cruise of the Garonne and the Dordogne rivers, taking in incredible destinations with excursions included as you immerse in this incredible journey, with your fine dining included, select drinks, Wi-Fi and incredible personal service to enjoy, plus of course your return flight from Bordeaux back to the UK. Now this package already has a saving of £900 per person if you book this right now, but exclusively to this show, the Cruise1st Luxury Collections, you can take £150 off per couple off the price you see on the screen there if you book this by the end of May. And if you decide to upgrade to a suite, take £300 off per couple if you book by the end of May. That's exclusive to this show, and a deposit of less than £300 each will secure your place on this wonderful river cruise. Here's the overview of everything that's included. I think that's wonderful as well, that you can put the plans in place right now. I mean, November feels right now like an age away, but it rolls round so quickly. I know you haven't as many miles as I have on the clock, Joanne, but you know, when you get to a certain, you get to a certain age, time does fly. I mean, years fly by.
It does, and also isn't November a bit, it can be a bit of a lull time of the year. Definitely. As well. You're almost thinking about next year's trips, but you almost want to take something before Christmas. It's a beautiful time of year in Bordeaux where autumn is changing into winter. It's absolutely stunning. But like we said before, we sail all year round. So if you fancy something a little bit more summery, then...
Absolutely. Well, there are other dates for this particular river cruise from June through to December this year, and then March to December next year. Obviously, the price varies by date, so talk to the team right now on 0800 953 4701. Let's do another one, shall we? Because we're going to unlock the secrets of Egypt now. Ooh. And your chance to cruise the River Nile, stepping back in time and enjoying its ancient and fascinating charms. I can't wait to show you this trip. Starts on the 22nd of November, flying from London or Manchester. And this time we're going a lot further away, Luxor in Egypt. Join the incredible boutique AmaDolce with just over 70 passengers on board. Now that really is boutique cruising. Now, are we going Dahlia or Dahlia?
Dahlia.
Dahlia. Yes, yeah. I think so in this part of the world. So this is a very different offering then indeed, because 72 passengers. Yeah,
so it is half the occupancy of our European ships.
This is the golden ticket, right?
Yeah, absolutely stunning vessels. We've actually got 2 ships on the Nile, and this particular date we're showing you is on the Dahlia, but yeah, just 70 guests, and the ships are only a couple of years old, if that. AmaLilia is actually brand new, and they are purpose-built for AmaWaterways. We don't charter these ships, they are built for AmaWaterways, so they've got all the innovations you would expect from our ships in the European end. So the product still delivers at that 5-star luxury level as well.
Let me just ask you about the cuisine when we're cruising in a part of the world like this. Are we reflecting local cuisine or international cuisine? How does that work?
Yeah, it's amazing on board actually, and I know sometimes with the Nile the cuisine side of things can be a little bit of a talking point, but we deliver regionally inspired dishes, international cuisine. We try and keep that fine dining aspect that you have in Europe, but of course we also have the Western cuisine available all the time, so you can really still enjoy the food even if you want to keep your taste a little bit more to what you eat at home. What's amazing, and I should have mentioned it with Europe as well, the locally sourced ingredients that you get on a river cruise. So the chefs are literally shopping in the local markets to get the ingredients for their dishes. So the level of food, whether it's Europe or on this amazing Nile trip, is just exquisite.
So their shopping trips will inspire the menu?
Yeah, they do, and you can actually go off if you're interested in cooking, and you can actually go off with the chef and the kitchen team and go to the markets and buy the produce with them.
That's incredible. Now we're arriving in Luxor, and our first day on the ship is an overnight on board AmaDolce, of course. So you can sort of I say orientate, you know, and get used to the surroundings and whatever, and then have chance to actually tour as well. The Valley of the Queens, of course, this is where we are right now. You can see wonderful tombs here. You can go into the Valley of the Kings, of course, here as well, which is one of the most famous archaeological sites in the world. So much, honestly, so many different choices in this part of the world, and excursions included, of course, as well, which is really, really important as part of this. Our next stop is Edfu. Again, we're here for an overnight as well, and again, preserved temples here as well. A temple built in 230 BC, whenever that was. But you know, again, to have the information, and as you mentioned, we're skimming through these ports at a rapid rate of knots, but on board will be that information. You will have port information, and excursion suggestions.
Absolutely, and we have an Egyptologist, team of Egyptologists on board as well, and they stay on the ship with you, so you actually can use them to talk about where you're visiting. They'll talk you through the itinerary as it's happening. You can sit and eat dinner with these Egyptologists.
Awesome.
You know, you can really immerse yourself.
So it really is more like an expedition, actually, in a lot of ways, actually. We're in Com Ombo right now, where there's a tour to the Great Temple here as well, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site here. It's a big complex, in fact. Oh, would you love to do a wonderful hot air balloon experience in Luxor? You could, of course, visit the Karnak Temple. That's one of the excursions available here as well. Maybe you want to go and visit one of the markets, the art of papyrus making as well, maybe. Ancient paper, lovely. We're in Cana as the final port in Egypt here as well. Again, all of these destinations are just full of history. I mean, I've got pages and pages of information here, which I haven't got time to tell you about, of wonderful ancient history that you can actually go and see and experience it in a very immersive way as well. This is not literally like sort of being driven somewhere on a coach and saying, well, there it is, there you go, you've got a couple of hours and then off we go again. We are talking about literally living the life, aren't we? Absolutely, yeah. And whatever there is to see on the Nile, this cruise will show you it. We don't miss anything out. It's the full Nile, it's the full Egyptian experience. I imagine that that sip and sail with the lovely, you know, sunsets that you have in this part of the world is going to be magical. Exactly. Right, such an exclusive opportunity. It needs to be grabbed as quickly as you possibly can. We're cruising the Nile in Egypt. We're river cruising with around 70 passengers, 70, I know, amazing. Enjoying the most incredible sights and sounds of ancient Egypt. The package includes your flights from London or Manchester to Luxor in Egypt to join the boutique Amadalia for your 7-night Nile cruise, taking in ancient temples, monuments and the awe-inspiring history of the region. Included excursions as you cruise, Egyptologists on board as well, award-winning dining service, Wi-Fi, select drinks, so much. This package already has a £575 per person saving if you book right now. Nearly £600 saving already. But if you book it exclusively with us here at Cruise1st from this show, you can take £150 off per couple, that price that you see on screen if you book this by the end of May. And if you decide to upgrade to a suite on board, good luck. If you can get one, you can take £300 per couple off that price you see on the screen. Here's everything that's included. It's an amazing opportunity. I have to say, my mind is a little bit blown by several things here. This is like, I'm going to make a silly analogy here. This is like going to see Madonna in the local Costa where there's seating for like only 50. And look at that price tag you're seeing on the screen there. And I like that analogy. That was good. Well, yeah, because it feels like you feel like you would have to jump through hoops of fire to be able to be on a ship with 70 people. Yeah. That's it. Ridiculous. It's an exclusive river cruise experience. You know, there's only a handful of people in the world that have river cruised so immersively on the Nile. To be able to go and do it on board these ships, and it's hugely popular again in this part of the world. And listen, I would say in the world of cruise, this is almost like the late deal opportunity that cannot be missed. But this isn't a late deal. It goes in November. Yeah, exactly. Grab it now. It's not going a fortnight on Tuesday. It's going at the end of November.
Yeah, and that's a really lovely time to visit the Nile as well.
Incredible.
It's a really nice, not only climate-wise, but also it's not necessarily as busy at that time of year. So it's a really nice way to experience more from the temples as well.
And just to say very quickly, there are other dates for this package between now and June, and again from September this year to June next year on 0800 953 4701. Right, okay. Let's move on to our final river cruise. I can't believe this time has just gone so quickly, but I am loving it, and I hope you're enjoying the show as well. Any questions you've got for our team, just call us 0800 953 4701. And our final river cruise is something rather special, the chance to explore and discover the riches of the Mekong River in Cambodia and Vietnam. Now, this will be a journey for the senses, and the package is incredibly comprehensive, looking after you every step of the way. Now, this is a 12-night package, and it starts on the 29th of August, flying from London or Manchester to Siem Reap in Cambodia, where your trip starts with a 3-night stay here, and you have fantastic excursions while you are here as well. You will actually be going to see the Angkor Thom, which is the most incredible temple complex. It means the great city, and it's home to many temples there. The Terrace of the Elephants is there. You're actually going to these places as part of your stay in Siem Reap. You'll also be heading into Angkor Wat as well, which is one of the most famous temples in this part of the world. So it really is an incredible opportunity. And here is just, if you like, a little flavour, a little overview of cruising in this part of the world, because this really is, I think, bar braving it and booking a trip and kind of going it alone, this is kind of the next best thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But doing it in such a lovely way where you're looked after every step of the way.
Yeah, it's escorted, you've got, and again, same with the Nile, everything there is to see in this part of the world, you are seeing it on the rivers, and you've got that element of being looked after because you've got someone there all the time. It saves you having to book all this kind of off the beaten track things yourselves. You've just got it all there in your AmaWaterways package.
It is, and it's so comprehensive as well. I love the fact that actually your offering includes, you know, in this particular package, you know, a stay with excursions and then the river cruise on the Mekong with excursions as well. It really is. Because this is, you know, for a lot of people, this is unfamiliar part of the world. You know,
yeah.
How do I do this? How do I do that? What do I do? You know, you have lots and lots of questions. Even if you've travelled an awful lot, you know, you feel like you are well travelled. You are still going to have those kind of, you know, reservations in the back of your mind as to, you know, how familiar things will be. Now, we are cruising out of Kampong Cham. You'll be transferred to there. You'll have a lovely welcome dinner, and then we will embark on our wonderful Mekong cruise. So you're seeing some of the places that we are heading to here. I'll give you a flavour of some of the highlights here. Ok Da Tay, which we are right now. There's a cruise from here. We'll be cruising to Phnom Penh, which is one of the most famous capitals in Cambodia as well. Royal Palace is here, the National Museum is here, there's Central Market, there's the famous Killing Fields as well. Very poignant history in this part of the world as well, of which you can explore. Of course, there are guides along the way while you're on board, to actually talk to you about where we're going, what's there, what's the history, what's the culture.
The guides are incredible as well. What I'll say about the Mekong is the guides and the crew all have very personal stories to tell, especially about a lot of the history and recent history of Vietnam and Cambodia. And
they're taking this trip on a regular basis as well.
Yeah.
I love the fact that even actually the border crossing from Cambodia to Vietnam is kind of a bit of an event and a kind of a marker in the cruise as well. It's wonderful. You'll cruise through Tan Chau to Sadek as well, where's the wonderful Chao Dai Temple is there, which I think we're seeing there in the picture. Again, amazing town centres in these places, and again, if you want to explore, you can. Now, we finish in Mai Tho Port, which is one of the key ports for Ho Chi Minh City, and you'll have a further stay in Ho Chi Minh City for 2 nights in a hotel, in which you'll also have an excursion to the Chu Chi tunnels as well, which is the famous underground network of tunnels that were built during the Vietnam War as well, which is 1, fascinating, and 2, very poignant as well. This is the whole entirety of this is an AmaWaterways package, which is great. So your hotel stays in Siem Reap and in Ho Chi Minh City at the other end, and then the whole Mekong Delta cruise, so you'll be travelling together. Just to talk to you about the actual ship as well, it's the AmaDara on this time, and I know we haven't had time to see the AmaDara, but 124 passengers on board. So again, that lovely boutique experience, cruising with a few, gaining all that wonderful knowledge. And I guess not only you're bringing back memories, but you're bringing back wonderful souvenirs and trinkets and all sorts.
The markets and everything that you'll go to. A lot of our guests that go on board this cruise, they actually say it's quite life-changing. I think it's quite a thought-provoking trip. It's very, very immersive, as with all river cruising, but you don't ever get as close to these destinations as you do on this river cruise. You can speak with the locals, you know, they welcome you into their towns and villages. Like I said before, our owners, Rudy and Christine, actually invest and help a lot of the towns and villages along the way as well, so we have an amazing relationship with this part of the world. It's on a lot of bucket lists. I think if it's on yours, definitely come and see what it's all about. But the amazing thing about AmaDara is it's all balcony as well. So we don't actually have that window grade on the AmaDara. It's just full twin balcony, which is amazing for a river cruise ship.
So you have your French balcony and a traditional...
and the sit-on balcony as well.
Yeah.
So you can watch the world go by. And there is a lot of opportunity just for that scenic. So the itinerary is quite full on. There's a lot of shore excursions, but there is a lot of beautiful scenic sailing and just seeing that scenery and waving at the villages and getting to know the crew, who are just incredible. I
feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this as well. It's an incredible adventure. Exploring the riches of the Mekong for the end of August. Include your flights from London or Manchester to Siem Reap in Cambodia, where you'll enjoy a 3-night stay with escorted tours included to Angkor Wat and Tom Temples before you transfer to Kampong Cham to join AmaDara for your 7-night Mekong Riches River Cruise with around 120 passengers, enjoying a dual balcony stateroom as well with a French balcony and sit-on balcony to enjoy as well. Seeing the sights and enjoying amazing dining, select drinks and service as you cruise from Cambodia to Vietnam, with included excursions taking you back in time and affording you unforgettable experiences. The cruise is then followed by a 2-night stay in Ho Chi Minh City, including an excursion to the Cu Chi tunnels before flying back to the UK. Now, there's a £575 saving per person already on this price on screen, but exclusively with this show, you can take £150 off per couple if you call right now and book this by the end of May. And if you decide to upgrade, we'll take even more from that price tag for you as well. You're enjoying a twin balcony stateroom as it is, with a deposit available as well. Let's have a look at the overview of everything that's included. I honestly cannot believe, really cannot believe, Joanne, that an hour has gone so quickly, and actually maybe we should have started with the Mekong and worked our way the other way. This is the thing, there is so much, and there are so many parts of the world that we haven't yet mentioned. Yeah, there is, and we've tried to cover quite a lot today, but it is just such an unbelievable way. We've got so much. I mean, we said before, you probably need 4 hours on this. Yes,
sofa.
Absolutely.
This really is just scratching the surface of what AmaWaterways has to offer. But in terms of destination, this one's definitely got to be up there. Yeah, absolutely. And listen, if you do have any questions, of course, we've got the hotline. To the Magic Deals, of course, this has exclusive savings on it, as all of the offers do in this show. If you missed any of the show, of course, you can go to our YouTube channel. Just go to Cruise1st and you will find all of the shows there in the Cruise1st luxury collections. There are other dates for this package as well, from August this year to April next year, and August next year to April in 2027, all with amazing savings to be had. Joanne, it was 1 hour, as you say, it needed to be 4, so will you come back again soon? Yes, I would love to.
Thank you so much for your time. I can't believe we've run out of it already. My thanks to Joanne, and my thanks to you as well. Listen, if you've loved what you've seen in the last 60 minutes, there's so much more to tell of the AmaWaterways story, and we've literally scratched the surface in an hour. So we'll be doing some more of that very soon. Thank you so much for your company. As always, talk to our team 0800 953 4701. See you soon.